So I think folks believe they're doing JuJu Watkins a favor when they're really setting her up. The latest to do this, legendary NBA coach George Karl, obviously had runs with the Sonics and the Nuggets, won a lot of games in the NBA, has always been outspoken on social media. He had the feud with Carmelo Anthony out there in the public, and it's kind of ironic in a sense because I get some Carmelo vibes from JuJu's game, but from the guard position. Nonetheless, he was trying to prop JuJu Watkins up, which is great. And none of this is JuJu's fault, by the way. Let me be very clear. None of this has anything to do with JuJu. She hasn't brought any of this on herself. She's a tremendous talent, a tremendous prospect. So want to be very clear about that. But when you say stuff like this, you're setting her up for blowback. As good as Caitlin Clark is, I'm thinking JuJu Watkins may be even better. She looks to have the size, athleticism, and talent to even compete in the NBA at some level. Okay. A couple things. One, the NBA part of it is going to get him clowned because biological differences, men and women. Not to say that some of these women couldn't compete against men in certain formats, but we know she's not playing in the NBA, I guess is what I want to say. And then just even we've heard this before, she could be even better than Caitlin Clark. She ain't better right now than her peers, or at least one of them. Hannah Hidalgo, to me, has been the best player in college basketball, and I don't think it's particularly close. Then you look at Paige Beckers, and I think her and JuJu have been on the same level. Flau'jae Johnson is playing at a high level. You got people who aren't even getting celebrated, like what Lauren Betts is doing over for UCLA on the season. I could go on and on. I did the piece on the leading scorer in the country at Florida State, Latson. So, there's a lot of girls, a lot of women who are out there playing well right now, right? So it's not JuJu and everybody else. But even if you're comparing her relative to her peers who are currently competing, I don't think she stands out and is clearly better than them. In fact, I think Hidalgo has clearly been better than her. And that's not even getting you to the Caitlin Clark part of the comparison. Of course, we know Clark is the benchmark. Clark is the lightning rod. Clark is the driver of engagement and popularity, hence why you use Caitlin Clark to get these discussions going instead of just solely focusing it on JuJu. Same thing goes with all these. Yeah, look, I did it with Hidalgo in the video where I said the closest thing to Caitlin Clark. I used Caitlin Clark's name there. So guilty, I suppose, in a sense. But that's why you keep seeing this. However, in some of these, it depends on the verbiage. Like words matter. I chose closest thing because words matter. I didn't say better than or the next. I didn't use those words. I said closest thing because she's the closest thing to providing the Caitlin Clark excitement. With JuJu and Paige, people just keep setting them up by saying they're going to be better than Caitlin or whatever. They're going to replace her or any of these things. And JuJu's got a long career ahead of her. She's still got a bunch of years in college. She could possibly go after Caitlin's scoring record. She does have tremendous pro potential because of her size, but pump the brakes because all you're going to do is lead to her getting over scrutinized and lead to people wanting to throw it in her face, even though she didn't do anything with it. I don't think that's, of course, coach's intention, but this was a setup for the USC star from the former NBA coach.